What prompted you to move to France, of all places?
Well, that goes back to one of my company cars we had, and when I got my fuel paid for as a company car, it was back in 1992. This was, and we were told we could, all our fuel would be paid. So we thought, well, we'll go on holiday, we'll go abroad. That was the first time we were going abroad, and it was an Austin Montego GTI, which was a horrible, horrible car.
Yep.
But we jumped in the car. We had Richard was about 3 or 4 months old, and John, and off we went down to a campsite in by Biarritz in southwest France, and it was fantastic. It was just glorious. And we decided then, which was 28 years ago, we said then we're going to live in France. We had no idea how, but that was always the dream. The vision was to live and work in France. We didn't know how we were going to do it, and eventually we got here via the USA, actually, to this part of France, which we also love, and we've been here now for 11. It's our 12th year in France now.
Uh-huh. When you arrived in France, did you think there'd be such a large English-speaking community anywhere near where you just moved into?
No, we had no idea. We had no idea what we were doing. We had no clue, because I know I had some business in Luxembourg. That's why we came to this part of the world, and we had no idea what we were doing. We just sort of fell into it. Luckily, Luxembourg is full of expats and very international, this sort of thing. And again, fortunately for us, English is, as you know, is one of the common business languages to an extent. So no, we were able to get by. Where we are now, of course, a little tiny village in the middle of nowhere, and we're right on the German border. We're in France, we're on the German border, and most people here actually speak German, not French. So I can get by in French. I can't do much in German, so I'm back to shouting and waving a lot now. But English carries through reasonably well. Yeah, it carries through.
As part of what you do, you've written a few books.
Yes.
So, how many books have you written now?
Actually published ones that you can sort of buy a copy of, if you like, or a hard copy. I think we're 45 now.
Yep. Yeah, that's
yeah.
Mm-hmm. And do they sell well, or
no? The reason that I wish they did, we have one of the books we wrote, one of the first ones I wrote was written with a US publisher, and so we get a royalty check done up at once. I think it's going to be 3 months or something, might be a monthly one, I don't know. And one arrived here at the new house, and it was I think it was for like $11 or something like that. So we buy a pizza with it. So no, we don't. The reason I wrote the books, and this sounds like an excuse, but it wasn't to sell lots of books. It was to support workshops and programs and events. So I find I use most of the books if I do a conference or a meeting or whatever workshop, or for clients as well. I will give them a book as part of the program. We do have a couple of what I call bestsellers, best-selling books, and I suppose the best-selling ones, and they're my bestsellers, not the global bestsellers. We've probably sold, I don't know, couple of thousand of them, I suppose, over the years. I mean, over the time. But so yeah, we have sold, but they don't sell. I mean, anybody listening, you're not going to get rich writing books unless you're a J.K. Rowling or you've got a 50 Shades up your sleeve. But writing a book about business, maybe not.
No. What process do you go through when you sit down to write the book?
I start off with just a sort of an idea for a book, a title or something like that. And I'm a visual type person. So I do literally like a mind map, a web, and I will, for me, I start off with sort of the title of the book and the idea for it. And then I slice it down into chapters. And for me, the chapters have to sort of follow on and to weave a storyboard, and I name the chapters. And then I literally write down or scribble images and pictures for each one, and I put Post-it notes up and that sort of thing. So when I'm writing, and I write, which I know some authors don't, I just write from start to finish. I start at chapter 1 and work my way through. Other people jump in and around, and I just work my way around the visual mind map. And I've found I enjoy it. It's quite a very cathartic process. I can write a book in quickest one I've done was probably within about 2 weeks, and some of the books are only sort of 75 pages long. They're not great big thick ones, but if I follow that process of visualizing, I can just sit down and I love it. You know, I'm up at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning and I write for 3 or 4 hours and then away we go. But it starts off with a visual, I call it a mind map, if you like, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. And who, before they're published, who reviews them?
Well, I hadn't used to get anybody to review them because I thought they were always going to be like perfect when I'd done them. And then I realized that wasn't the case. So Lynn will do, Lynn, my wife, my boss, as you know, she will do a sort of a proof check, just make sure it flows and they're not duplicating this sort of thing. But before I actually publish, you know, proper, you know, press the button, I'll get somebody, either another writer, an author, or a client, or something like that. So here's a copy. Have a look at this, and pick the bones out of it. And what they normally find actually is it's not just spelling and grammar, but the sort of there'll be gaps in the storyline somewhere that I need to fill in and explain things better, that type of thing. So that's really helpful. So I have a sort of a proofreader, and then Lynn will upload it onto the site, and we self-publish, and away we go. But yeah, proofreading first is a good technique.